What's up, everybody? How the devil are you? It's a fantastic day, isn't it? Of course it is, because it's BBC Spews Day. Huzzah! Welcome to the show, the only current affairs news show that involves lots of foul language, crass synonyms, and infantile behaviour from me, your friendly neighbourhood newsreader, the Angry Bootneck. Trevor McDonald can do one. Trevor, you're no use to us anymore. You work for the unearthly corporation. Britain's taxpayer-funded communist rhetoric outpost of doom. Nobody cares what you have to say anymore. You're yesterday's news, pal, so let's get on with it. First up, COVID. LGBT teenagers isolated and lonely in pandemic. Fuck me. Well, join the queue, boys and girls. Join the queue. You know, the point I keep making is, on what planet do you have to inhabit? On what plane of existence do you have to inhabit to think that constantly putting headlines up every single day talking about your immutable characteristics, what you happen to be? On what plane of existence do you have to inhabit to think that's a liberal, tolerant, progressive thing to do? They love using the word progressive. That word does not mean what they think it means. No, it's not progressive. It's not. We were being progressive in the 90s and the 90s when we just used to let people get on with it and live their lives however they saw fit. This isn't progressive. Telling me, after we've all been locked in our houses like deranged hermits for 12 months the pubs have been locked. It's enough to drive any red-blooded Englishman into a furious Tasmanian devil-like whirlwind of headbutts and sexual threats. It's terrible. We've all been isolated and lonely, you barmy bastards. How is it bringing people together to compartmentalise everybody and talk as if LGBT teenagers are somehow some sort of alien race that I have nothing in common with? Again, are you all mental? Has the world gone mad? If this is progress, fucking keep it. This is progress like getting rid of the landline telephone and going back to carrier pigeons is progress. It's shit. It's shit. It's toxic. It's poison. It's ruining the entire world. This fucked up ideology. And best of all, we are paying for it. We are paying for our own destruction. We might as well be pouring liquid AIDS into the fucking water supply, and we're paying for it. It's terrible. Terrible. Buy every home in Britain a plutonium rod and stick it under your pillow. That's how fucking logical paying for the BBC is. Anyway, let's read the story. Yeah, they look lonely and isolated. They look like typical narcissistic teenagers to me. Schools and families can do more to tackle LGBT people's loneliness during the pandemic, a charity says. A survey of more than 1,100 people by Just Like Us suggested a higher proportion from Wales felt lonely than anywhere else in the UK. LGBT teenagers who are black, eligible for free school meals and or have a disability were the worst hit. No. Okay, let's just compartmentalise them a little bit more. Oh, you think you've got something in common because you're LGBT? No. You're not disabled LGBT. You're not black LGBT. You're not ginger, large-footed, favourite colour is purple LGBT. You've got nothing in common with me, girlfriend. Dominic Arnold, the chief executive, said teenagers needed a positive message of acceptance from authority figures. The Welsh government said schools were given guidance which recognised that some young people are more likely to suck blokes off. Sorry, that would only be the male LGBT people. Unless they're L or G or maybe B, then it'd be... Fuck knows. Let's not even go down that slippery slope, shall we? I'll never get to the end of it. So this is just terrible, isn't it? This is bollock cancer. This is toxic identity politics, communist rhetoric by the world's worst taxpayer-funded news organisation. Listen, LGBT teenagers, if there are any listening to me, I'm sure there is. Teenagers are cool and edgy. There's got to be at least one or two watching this video. Kids, what you happen to put your cock in or rub your gash up against is your own business. Nobody's going to judge you for that. Nobody. Do as you please. Live your own life. You be you. But please, never for a minute think that you and I don't have something in common just because I'm not a communist and I don't think you should treat people differently and obsess over what people happen to be. You do you and I'll do me. Yeah? You can shag people of the same or different genders to yourself, or you can decide to change your gender. That's your business, and I don't care what you do. Just be aware that just because I happen to be of the same gender I was born, and I occasionally have sex badly with women that fall for my laundry list of lies and half-truths or take pity on me, we're not that different. We're not that different. We can be pals. Don't read the BBC. Tell all your friends. Next time you're in the gay rave, tell all your friends, you know the BBC, it's shit. That little hairy bootneck talks more sense in 30 seconds of rambling than the entire staff of the BBC can muster in a month. If you want to fix your mental health issues, kids, stop reading the BBC. There's some fucking golden advice for you. Alright? Fucking this one, right? This one. My God, it hurt my head reading it. The amount of narcissism on display. Again, not news. Not news. Why are you telling us? This was on the homepage. I didn't have to go looking for this. I typed in bbc.co.uk, boom. This was on the homepage. This is what they think we should be reading about. Let's have a look, shall we? Narcissistic selfie, yeah. Headphones, check. Designer shades, check. Shit-eating grin, check. Eyebrows drawn on with a marker pen, check. Health coach Jasmine Hire had to give up her life in London and move back in with her parents after catching COVID. Now she is focused on a twin goal: battling back to health while helping others get the right treatment for long COVID. Listen. How can you be a health coach when you are such a fucking mess? If your entire piece is about how bad your health is, what coaching do you want to give me? This is how you cough your guts up. I don't want advice on that. I don't want advice. This is how you get wrecked by an ailment that most people my age get over in a week. Oh yeah, fucking grand health advice there, love. Who else should we go and ask for health advice? Fucking Rick Waller. Is that a good idea? Go and see one of those guys who Jerry Springer has to get winched out of his house by the fire department. Can you give me a few exercise tips, mate? Fuck off. Jasmine, you're a clip. You're a mess. You're a state. You're pathetic. You're both physically and emotionally weak. Why do you think I'm going to pay you to give me any health advice at all? I might ask you for sunglasses advice or how to pout in front of a fucking cell phone, but you can teach me nothing about health, mentally or physically. So do yourself a favour, stop trying to be a typical fucking Instagram yoga twat and get a job in a bank, because you are as much use as tits on a fish as a fucking health coach. My word. For someone who coaches people on how to live a healthy life badly, the concept of not being able to move her body was unthinkable for Jasmine. She was training to be a yoga teacher. Aren't they all? Aren't they fucking all? There must be more yoga teachers in the world now than there are fucking army ants. Like, every time I put the BBC on, there's a twat who's a yoga teacher. How many videos have I made where it's like some yoga teacher whinging? Maybe it's like a chicken and an egg thing. Maybe we don't know which causes it. Are narcissistic, emotionally ruined, physically and mentally pathetic psychopaths driven to learn yoga, or does learning yoga turn you into an emotional wreck? Maybe that's a good advice for the LGBT teenagers. Kids, give up yoga. It is fucking dangerous. BBC and yoga, avoid those two, you're golden. Last March, she couldn't smell or taste anything, following a week of flu-like symptoms. It was the start of a month of hell. Yep, she's healthy, yep. My mate Jonesy, he got over it in 3 days. He's not a fucking health and well-being teacher. Maybe he should fucking take it up. He's an engineer for the National Grid. I'll ring him up. Here, mate, you're much better at health and wellness than the fucking narcissistic teenager who's 10 years younger than you. You should take that up. But he won't, because he's not a dickhead. She spent much of the month terrified. Terrified. Again, terrified. Yep, I want spiritual well-being from you, psycho. Even walking around the house made her lungs feel as if they were on fire, she says. There she is, doing a shitty little Dalsim pose for the camera. In June, she tried to do 10 minutes of stretching, but it left her bedbound for a week. Honestly, if you believe this claptrap, you are a maniac. 10 minutes of stretching, bedbound for a week. How? I know people who've said that, that it took it out of them and they were tired, but 10 minutes of stretching puts you in bed for a week? Jesus Christ. What did I say? This is the new bad back. This is the new depression. It is going to be the #1 benefits claimants for the next 10 years is going to be yoga instructors with long COVID. I guarantee it. An increased heart rate, weight loss, irregular menstrual cycles, palpitations and insomnia. Just some of the symptoms she experienced. Get a job. Get a job. That will help you out. Not to quote my idol, Mrs. Thatcher, but work is good for your mental and physical well-being. Get a proper job instead of stretching on the internet. You silly fucking mare. Doctors dismissed the symptoms as anxiety. Of course they did, because she's a fucking lunatic. But she felt desperately alone until she tested positive for antibodies and finally began to be taken more seriously. Yeah, she got tested positive for antibodies after years of trying to get away with depression or ME or yuppie flu or whatever it is. And then she finally got COVID and went, ka-ching! Now I can do yoga on Instagram to my 11 followers like a twat, and I can scam money off the fucking bus drivers and the bricklayers that actually keep this bastard country solvent. That's what she did. I felt like I was dying. All of my life was being sucked out of me. Blah, blah. Look, a respiratory specialist ran all these tests on her and said they all came back normal, and he told her that her lungs were fine and she may be experiencing trauma from COVID. Yes, yeah. You are swinging the lead and you're trying to get a payout because you had COVID. Guess what? 10 million other people have had it. It's not that fucking big of a deal. Again, more narcissistic selfies. Hey, I stretched and I was in bed for a week. What's that? You want to put a picture of me on a website? Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm not buying it. Also, why have they always got nose rings? How many pieces of metal have you got stuck in your fucking body? Maybe you've got an extra 10 pounds of piercings and that's making you feel fatigued. Take them out, see if your fucking head moves a bit easier. What is long COVID? Well, it's a load of shite. That's what it is. It's a way for career welfare recipients to string it out a bit longer. Yeah, let's repeat it. A respiratory specialist, yeah, not a bloke off the street, not a taxi driver she asked for some advice, a respiratory specialist. Ran an x-ray, a blood test and an electrocardiogram, which all came back normal. Her lungs are fine, she may be experiencing trauma from COVID. Then one hack managed to fucking back up her insane claims, possibly because she gave him a topless hand shandy, and now we've got, oh my god, severe long COVID. Nobody cares. Get back to work, you lazy bint. Seriously, I'm offended that this jumped up disc jockey with a penchant for yoga is getting me to pay her fucking benefits for God knows how long. And how much is she costing the NHS? I haven't been to the doctor in 11 years. I feel like I should be getting some sort of not a serial whinger tax rebate. What a load of shit. Jasmine, get yourself back to work. Go work in the spam factory, do some proper graft for a living, and you'll soon feel right as rain. Right? Right. Here's another good one after I've whinged about Harry and me again this week. City drivers should think twice before buying SUVs. Well, blow me down with a feather. All the time I've whinged about these fucking shitbags from Extinction Rebellion. The uniformly upper middle class whiny rebellion. I point out the obvious. They're all posh. Whenever you see one, hear one, interact with one, they are uniformly posh. It is a posh white boys rebellion, so middle class yuppie hipsters can convince themselves they're hard done by, just like all of the other oppressed people who subscribe to their communist ideology. It's bollocks. Of course, city drivers should think twice before buying SUVs. They're the only people that buy them. Working class twats like me buy whatever's the most economical, or we walk to work, or we take the bus. The ones who whinge about the climate crisis, it's a crisis. Remember AOC? We're going to go extinct in 4 years, you absolute psycho. The only thing that's going to kill AOC is if the dead sheep that she pulled the teeth out of for her own dental fucking replacement is resurrected by a necromancer and he comes back to seek revenge on her. That's the only thing that's going to kill AOC. Fucking chomper. I wouldn't trust Chomper to run me a bath. But anyway, let's not go on a tangent about my fucking other nemesis. Let's not do that. The BBC confirmed what we knew all along. Drivers in crowded cities should think twice before buying a big SUV. Steve Gooding from the RSE Foundation said, "We should all choose the right vehicle for the right trip to cut the size of our carbon footprint. It's right to question if suburban drivers need a car capable of ploughing over rivers, across fields and up steep hills to pop to the shops." Yes, it's true. Here is the bit I really wanted to point your attention at. Again, because I've known it all along. I've said it 50 times. And then you get some deranged lefty in the chat. Sauces. Give me your sauces. We all know it. I can pull sauces out of my arsehole all day long. I just don't see the need to do it when it's a blatant fact and anybody with a hole in their arse knows it. His comments come as research confirms most SUVs are bought by urban drivers. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Sauces. Citation. Citation, please. Everybody knows this. Working class people know this because the only twats they see driving these fucking Chelsea tractors, well named, are middle class arseholes. They're like 40 grand and you can do fucking 6 miles per gallon. Do you think a fucking bricklayer wants one? Do you think the window cleaner wants to spend £20 every fucking 3 miles he drives? Christ almighty, these things are self-evident. The report says 3/4 of all SUVs sold in the UK are registered to people living in towns and cities. Of course they are. The largest SUVs are the most popular in 3 London boroughs. Oh, you mean the places where the wankers live who have a go at me because I like to ride a fucking moped once a week? Yeah, those fuckers. The ones who have a go at you because you take the kids to Spain once a fucking year, they're having a go at you. Twats from Kensington and Chelsea, Hammersmith and Fulham, old boy, and Westminster. Oh yeah, Westminster. The ones who sit on a Marks and Spencer cashmere rug, eating fucking grapes and French cheese while calling you all a bunch of selfish scum. They're the ones fucking up the world. So take it up with yourselves, you fucking weasels. 1 in 3 new private cars bought in these areas is a large SUV. 1 in 3. 1 in 3. Kensington probably has a fucking carbon footprint of its own bigger than the entire city of Newcastle. Like, these fucking people are worms. Everything they accuse you of, they are. Everything. Hypocrites, liars, selfish, self-centred, fucking scum. And they want to have a go at you, Mr. Postman, because you took the kids to fucking Albufeira for a week last year. It's a bite. Actually, not last year. We've all been locked in for a cunt in year, haven't we? Oh, look, and the most likely large SUV is a Lexus NX300. Oh, really? How much is a Lexus NX300? Only 44 grand. Only 44 grand. All the working class scum has 44 grand to drop on a fucking car. My God. Do you remember when Katie Hopkins had it out with one of these posh private school wankers, you know, on top of a roof in the middle of London, fucking stopping everyone from getting to work? Seriously, they're maniacs. If you tried that on the train station in Middlesbrough, they would be taking you home in a bucket. All the steel workers trying to get to work, and there's some middle class posh boy on the fucking roof. They would have to scrape him off the train tracks. They could send him back to his mother in a shoebox. It's lunacy. These fucking people. Again, all the people who like the BBC and the Guardian. What a bunch of fucking worms. So yes, there we go. That was a good one. Thanks for confirming what we all knew anyway. This one, not even a story. I'm not going to cover it. But again, identity politics are obsessed with it. They want to sow discord, make everyone hate each other. Sow the discord, reel it in. Hate, hate, hate. Fight, fight, fight. They're like the fucking, you know, the oily little smarmy kid who follows the school bully around but doesn't actually do any fighting himself. That's what the BBC's like. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. But they're trying to wash the hands of it. But they're always instigating the chew, aren't they? Every time. Look, another round how a film about drinking experiment became a celebration of life. Could just do a normal movie review, but this is the BBC. What's in the first paragraph? In the most diverse film awards season to date, a Danish film about 4 middle-aged white male friends experimenting with alcohol has become one of its biggest success stories. How bad's that? How bad's that? How bad is that? So they've purposely made the film awards as diverse as they can, and we know what that entails. Because there's not that many diverse films, they are ramming stuff in that shouldn't be there. It wouldn't have got there on merit. It's like if a company says, oh, we have to have 50% of the employees be disabled women. You're going to have employees that are completely incompetent because by playing this communist numbers game, you have to take every single person who walks through the door who fits the bill. Same as the meme I shared the other day about the pilots. Oh, we guarantee that all of our pilots will be black. Yeah, well, if you don't get many applicants who are black, you are forced to take them, aren't you? Forced to. Not my opinion, that's a mathematical fact. If you promise you're going to have a certain number by a certain date and you don't get enough applicants, you will be doing anything you can. You will literally drag the janitor in. Fuck it, he can fly the bastard plane. He's like, but I lost my eye in Nam and I've got this fucking nervous tick. Shut up and fly the plane. Lunacy. Absolute lunacy. And this, horrible bastards that they are, nice middle-aged man film about a load of blokes on the piss, and they've started the opening paragraph with, oh, it's the most diverse film award ever, but one of them's been successful because it's full of middle-aged white men. Unbelievable. The cynicism, the bitterness and cynicism and hatred these people have for you if you're a white man is staggering. It's palpable. What have they done to deserve this? There's no evidence that the only reason this film's getting rewarded is because it's full of middle-aged white men. Yet here we are. Here we are. So anyone who's got any interest, go and watch another round. I'm going to watch it because I'm sure it's actually quite good. If it's managed to break in when we're living in this day and age, the anti-meritocracy, I bet you it's a decent film. Quote me on it. Let's see. I'll do one more, shall I? In fact, no, I'm gonna keep this one brief because I'm sick of talking about COVID. Right, it's another COVID one. I just thought it was important because I have been banging the drum for a year, saying we shouldn't have locked down, saying the obvious things, agreeing with basically everything Lord Sumption said. Technically, he must be agreeing with me because I was saying this shit back in March, thanks to Peter Hitchens. But it's obvious to anyone who's got a brain who thinks about this for even 5 minutes. Lockdown kills people. COVID kills people. Pick your poison. If you keep the economy moving and you keep everything as normal as you can, I would suggest that it makes sense that is probably the best course of action unless you're dealing with a really, really dangerous virus that has a fucking 10% fatality rate or something. COVID doesn't, therefore there is no reasonable argument to make that we should have locked everybody down. The amount of people that have been killed by the lockdown is going to be staggering. Staggering. Heart attacks, depression, drug abuse, substance abuse, battered wives, abused children, obesity, lack of exercise, more cancer, more heart disease, more strokes. I can go on forever. It's shocking. Shocking. I was right, you were wrong. If you're one of these whiny, hyper-paranoid Guardian readers who thinks we should have lockdown, more often, you were wrong, I was right. Just accept it. Just accept it. Another story about unpaid carers struggle to get pain relief for the terminally ill. Oh my fucking God. I told you these type of things I feel strongly about because of my own family history. Susan Lowe said she couldn't get pain relief medication for her own mother. A survey of 995 unpaid carers by Marie Curie also found people with difficulties getting personal care and respite nursing. Oh my God. Sheila Lowe with her daughter Susan, the poor bastard. My biggest regret is that my mum died in pain. More pain than she needed to be. She really wanted to be comfortable at the end. She knew she was dying. What she really wanted, and this is what she was assured would happen, was to be comfortable. She was told she would get the drugs she needed for it to be as bearable as possible. And I remember breaking down in tears a couple of times in the pharmacy when I was told the medication mum needed wasn't in stock. Criminal. Anyone who's ever seen anyone die of cancer, it's awful the amount of agony they're in. It's a cruel, vile disease, and it's always made me side with the euthanasia side of the argument. You wouldn't put a dog through that. You wouldn't put a dog through it. If a dog was dying in agony, you would put it to sleep. And we, because of these Matt Headcock and the albino jellyfish, and even worse, all of the Labour worms who provided no opposition at all and wanted to lock down more and harder, all of them are to blame for making people die in the most unimaginable agony you can think of. It is fucking scandalous. I take no pleasure in being right this time. Well, all right, that's not true because I'm a chippy northern wanker, but it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. If you're one of the unlucky people that's had to deal with that, I really do feel for you. It is fucking scandalous. Rest assured, start a petition, whatever you want, I'll sign it. I think it is absolutely disgraceful and despicable what we have done to hundreds of thousands of people dealing with terminal illness and pain and suffering in the last 12 months. Fucking shocking. Turned the National Health Service into the National COVID Service. Disgraceful. Irresponsible, criminally negligent, short-sighted. I can come up with fucking insults all day long, but I won't, because frankly I'd probably be here until next month. I guess I'll call it there. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you're very angry. I know I am. That's what reading the BBC does to you. Boils your piss in the bag. Fortunately, that's how Angry Bootnecks drive our nourishment from the very air itself. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I read the BBC and the hate empowers me. Thanks for watching. I have now got a rage boner tugging at my shorts, and I hope you do too, because Angry will fuel our fight to tear Broadcasting House down brick by brick. Don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe it, have a look at Subscribe Scar, Ko-Fi, any of that shit. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. See you later. Cheers.